Your lighter is dead, your hands are numb, and the sun is going down. This is usually the part where you die. If you think you can walk into the woods, rub two sticks together for 30 seconds, and get a roaring fire like Tom Hanks, you are going to die. Fire is the #1 priority in survival. It is your heat, your water purification, and your signal. But movies treat it like magic. In the real world, fire is physics. It is a chemical reaction that demands specific conditions. If you violate those conditions, you freeze. We are breaking down the top 5 fire myths that kill unprepared people. We are replacing movie magic with hard facts from the US Army Field Manual, the British SAS Survival Handbook, and basic thermodynamics. Let's burn the myths. The first myth is the friction fire fantasy. You're cold, you're lost. You grab a stick, spin it between your hands against a log, and poof, fire. In reality, you just volunteered for exhaustion and hypothermia. Friction fire requires specific conditions: dead, dry softwoods for the spindle and hearthboard. It requires massive physical exertion to generate the 800 degrees Fahrenheit or 425 degrees Celsius needed to create an ember. If the humidity is high or the wood is slightly damp, physics says no. US Army Field Manual 21-76 explicitly warns that friction fire is an advanced technique that burns precious calories. It states that without proper materials, the failure rate is near 100%. Trying to start a friction fire in a damp forest is like trying to win a marathon by hopping on one leg. You are expending maximum energy for minimal results. The solution is to cheat. Carry a Bic lighter. Carry 2. If you must use friction, do not use the hand drill method shown in movies. Use a bow drill. It gives you a mechanical advantage. But better yet, bring a lighter. The second myth is just pour gas on it. We've all seen the action hero dump a jerry can of gasoline on a pile of wet logs, toss a Zippo, and instantly have a warm, sustainable campfire. In reality, this is called a flashover. Gasoline has a very low flash point and high vapor pressure. When you light it, the vapor explodes. It creates a massive fireball that lasts about 10 seconds. It sings your eyebrows, burns off the fuel, and leaves the wet logs completely cold. National Fire Protection Association data on combustion shows that accelerants like gasoline burn too fast to raise the core temperature of dense wood to its ignition point. Pouring gasoline on a fire is like giving a starving man a shot of adrenaline instead of food. You get a huge spike of energy, followed by an immediate crash. The solution is sustained heat. If you have fuel, do not dump it. Soak a rag or porous material in the fuel. Place that under your kindling. This acts as a wick, slowing the burn and giving the wood time to catch. Quick pause. If you don't want to be the guy found frozen to death holding an empty gas can, hit subscribe. Let's keep you warm. Back to the list. The third myth is the one match myth. You see a character hold a match directly to a thick log. The log catches fire. In reality, this is physically impossible. This is a violation of the surface area to volume ratio. A match flame does not produce enough thermal energy to raise a dense log to its combustion temperature of roughly 570 degrees Fahrenheit or 300 degrees Celsius before the match burns out. The British SAS Survival Handbook outlines the strict hierarchy of fire: tinder, kindling, and fuel. You cannot skip steps. You cannot ignite a log without a coal bed. Trying to light a log with a match is like trying to boil a swimming pool with a candle. The energy input is simply too small for the mass. The solution is processing. You need a bird's nest of fine, dry tinder, dry grass, inner bark, or cotton, then small twigs, then finger-sized sticks. Only then do you add the log. You have to earn the log. The fourth myth is the cave fire trap. You find a cave. You build a massive fire inside to stay warm, just like prehistoric man. In reality, you are building a death trap. First, heat causes rapid thermal expansion. If the rock contains moisture, the heat turns it to steam, causing the rock to crack and explode. You can bring the ceiling down on your head. Second, without perfect ventilation, carbon monoxide fills the space. The U.S. Navy SEAL Survival Guide warns against building large fires inside small enclosed spaces. You create an oven, and you are the turkey. The solution is a reflector wall. Build the fire outside the cave entrance, about 3 feet or 1 meter away. Build a wall of rocks or logs behind the fire to reflect the radiant heat into the cave. You get the warmth without the cave-in or the suffocation. The fifth myth is the magnifying glass or eyeglasses. You're stranded on an island. You use your glasses to focus the sun and start a fire. In reality, unless you're farsighted, hyperoptic, your glasses are concave. They disperse light. They don't focus it. You can't start a fire with them. Even with a magnifying glass, you need bright, unobstructed overhead sun. If it's cloudy, late afternoon, or winter, when you actually need the heat, this method fails. Physics dictates that you need a focal point of intense energy. Relying on the sun for survival is like relying on the lottery for your retirement plan. You might get lucky, but the odds are you end up broke and cold. The solution is a ferrocerium rod. A ferro rod throws sparks at 5,400 degrees Fahrenheit, or 3,000 degrees Celsius. It works in the dark, it works in the rain, it works when you are shaking from hypothermia. Stop playing with lenses. Real survival is boring. It's physics, chemistry, and preparation. Don't rub sticks. Don't explode the gas. Process your tinder. Reflect the heat. Carry a ferro rod. Stop trying to be a movie character. Start acting like a survivor who understands thermodynamics. See you in the next one.